Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Inga Cotton. I'm the founder and executive director of San Antonio Charter Moms. And these videos are Charter Moms Chats. And we've been sharing information with families that will help them keep their kids learning and engaged and having fun. And what a school year it's been. But it's time to look ahead to summer and enrichment activities and getting out and having some fun. And today we have our guests are all from the Magik Theatre, which is San Antonio's professional family theater. Their home base is in Hemisphere. And so here's the team from Magik Theatre that we have represented today. So Anthony Runfola is the artistic director of the Magik Theatre. So he's the one right below me. We also have our Darcel Bias. He is, wait, yes, sorry, it's mirror image on the camera. So, Darcel is, so he's the director of Charlotte's Web, which is the show that we're going to talk mostly about today. But he's got other roles and activities at the Magik Theatre. So very excited to talk to Darcel. And then in the, diagonal, there we go. Yes, okay, is Rosa Gardner, who I admit I'm a little starstruck because I have seen her, my kids and I have seen her on stage at the Magik Theatre many times in lots of different roles. She's super full of energy. And so she is going to be playing Wilbur in Charlotte's Web, but she's played many other roles and has more roles coming up this summer. So she's offering the sort of teaching artist acting perspective on Charlotte's Web. So thank you so much, Magik Theatre team. I'm so glad you're here.
Great to be here, Inga.
Yes.
So, okay, so my first question I'm going to send to Anthony, and I want to ask you about Charlotte's Web and like, what is the show about? What can families expect to see when they go to the Magik Theatre to see it?
Well, Charlotte's Web is simply described. My favorite description is what E.B. White said about it, who wrote the novel, which was, it's the story of friendship and salvation on a farm. It's the unlikely friendship between a pig and a spider, and how the spider, Charlotte, really sacrifices a lot to help her friend. It's a play that we actually originally had scheduled for the summer of, or the spring of 2020. And of course, we didn't get to do it then. And we felt like summer is a great time to do it. And with a play that's about, or a story that's about cycles of life and, you know, helping each other, I felt like it was like a really good time for our community to have a story like that to talk about. So we were really excited to bring it to the stage, to finally get to do it.
Yeah, that's, you know, we've talked about this with other guests and other posts on the blog, that literature and fiction and theater are really helpful as ways to process feelings and to like talk about what we've all been through, and we've all been through a lot, you know, to different degrees. But you know, I think it's like art is so important as a way to you know, reflect and share and, you know, discuss as a family
Right.
what's happening. Yeah. And we've been running a giveaway. It's closed now, but we've been running a giveaway in the SA Charter Moms discussion group, which this is my chance to plug our Facebook group. But we have a very lively, active group. Families come to research schools, but we got to do a ticket giveaway, and we asked parents to reflect on like the book Charlotte's Web and you know, how it impacted them. And so many of them shared about the joy of like sitting and reading that book with their kids, and you know, that it really is a classic story.
And multi-generational now too, right? That book came out in 1950, I think 1953. And so grandparents, maybe even great-grandparents, grandparents, moms, kids, you know, have read it, you know, down through the generations. So a great way to actually come, I think everybody can enjoy this play together. You know, how wonderful to get to do that the first time as we venture back out again.
Yeah. So I guess, so Darcel, since you're the director of the show, I was wondering if you could talk more about like, you know, how it went from being like a book to a play, and then how that gets translated to the stage at the Magik Theatre.
Right. Yes. Well, one, I wanted to bring up or respond rather to your point about how beneficial the arts is for audiences in general. One, I think the beauty of art is the intentionality that we put behind it. And so with a show like this, which is about how we band together, how people who are unlike each other use their resources and their creativity to help each other out. I think that's a direct reflection of everything that we've experienced in the past year. And so that is a concept that I've really tried to employ within the story, which is the web. You know, the web is the miracle itself. You know, how one thing happens and it affects everyone else across the board. And so we put a lot of emphasis on that, just the universal principles of it all, because, you know, that's what's helped us to get through, is us helping each other. And so we know, like within the book, it was by E.B. White, and then is now adapted by Joseph Robinette, excuse me. It's always difficult sometimes trying to translate different mediums of literature because you want to, it's kind of like how movies are from books. And it's like, but wait, we can't fit. What happened to this? It was this moment here. We don't see it here and all that. I think how the script that we have does a good job of concising it and bringing it all down so that we could get all of the key moments and all the key factors in. And we do our best to highlight those moments and really, you know, create an experience for our audiences to get back into the love and the thrill of live theater and live performance, and the goosebumps that they get when the curtains open, or when the applause and the togetherness and the cheers that we get at the very end, and all the tears and all the laughter that we have along the way. And so I think as a team, we're just very excited and very happy that we get a chance to provide a different experience, and an experience that we've longed for in a year and a half now.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I remember like pre-pandemic when like I always check with, you know, the season announcement. I always get super excited when Magik does the upcoming shows, and like I had it marked on my calendar because like both of my kids read Charlotte's Web with their class at school. Like it's one of the, I think it's like second or third grade books in the curriculum at the school they go to, and I thought, oh, we could get a whole group to go. Like I had all these big plans, and then, you know, of course COVID, like, I mean, I remember just like wiping things off our whiteboard calendar and just feeling this like grief of like, oh man, like it's like we're not going anywhere. Like we got to get creative. And I know like Magik was very innovative about offering virtual programming, you know, like storytelling and activities and things like that. But like it feels so good to be putting things back on the calendar. So I'm sure you guys feel that too as artists. Okay, so I want to send my next question to Rosa because she plays Wilbur. So I want you to, if you could talk about the character of Wilbur and like that friendship aspect between Wilbur and Charlotte, and just like how that feels.
Yes, it is. You know, as we know, most of us know the story. It's already just a lovely friendship, and so it's nice to just bring that to life. It's always fun as an actor to just bring anything to life, but especially like a well-known character like this, and you have to be careful with it. It's like, this is a beloved character. We need to make sure we do justice to this, and that I do justice to it. So I'm trying to bring that innocence to Wilbur. Like he really goes through a bit of a journey through the show. He's very young at the beginning, like just born, and is learning all about life throughout the show. So it's like I start, you know, and I know my life and I know my friend Fern, and life is great. And then suddenly, not unlike real life, it changes. And it's about adapting and like we've been saying, friendship. And so we've been trying to connect with Charlotte and find those moments in the show, with Darcel's help too, to find those moments to really show that friendship in such a short period of time and to show that growth. And so if I'm doing my job right, hopefully you'll see that throughout the show, and you'll see Wilbur go from that innocence to learning about the realities of life while trying to maintain that optimism and you know, learning how to think outside of himself and to think about others and how that can affect your life and others. So it's really a lot of fun to do. He's also just a very fun character, so I get to jump around a lot. And I mean, I'm a pig, so it's always fun to bring an animal to life. It's always a bit of a unique challenge to bring an animal to life without being like, I'm gonna walk around on all fours and be a pig. So
I know you always bring physicality to your roles, and like you're communicating on multiple levels, right? So I mean, like of course the costumers do a great job, and you know, and your voice is always very expressive, but like And I've seen you like play multiple characters in a given production, and your body language changes so dramatically from one to another. And
Well,
I think that, yeah, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say thank you. I try really hard to think about that sort of thing. You know, it's not even as specific as like, well, at the beginning I do think things like, does this character move fast? Does this character move and so I ask myself those kind of questions. But then in general, the more you get to know yourself as the character, that physicality sort of comes out. And so I think it's an important way to show, just one of the many ways, like you're saying, to show differences between a character and to really become them. So you were saying?
Yeah. Well, I think also like I love Magik Theater as a place to introduce kids to theater, because like I started bringing my kids when they were really young, and you know, but the nice thing is, like, you know, as a parent, you don't have to feel embarrassed if your kid acts out a little bit in the theater, because like everybody does it. It's okay. And you know, like one of my kids has autism and isn't always aware of his surroundings, and just both are just very high energy. So so I feel like, but it's a very comfortable, accepting environment, is, you know, because like, yeah, so like that's my advice to parents, is like, don't worry. It's like, what's the theater? It's like, dude, it's the children's theater. And like you know, like,
yes,
so
yes,
it's
theater's
just
for everyone. You know, we want like you said, it's a great place for them to learn how to enjoy a show, because theater isn't about necessarily like, be quiet and watch what we're doing, although, you know, that can help you absorb some of it. It's about the story that we're telling. It's not necessarily even just like, oh, it's a kid's story. Like, adults can enjoy them too. These are life lessons we're learning, and this is a safe place to come and learn those things in a fun and engaging way. So everyone is welcome. And yeah, you're totally right. Parents don't need to be like afraid that that this isn't a place for them, because it's for everybody.
Yeah, and kids can start to learn some of the tools that actors and directors use for storytelling, right? So there's sets, there's costumes, there's dialogue, there's singing, you know, there's all this interplay, and just understanding that like plays are in acts and scenes, and you know, just there might be an intermission, or just, you know, like all these like, there's sort of the nuts and bolts of how theater works as a medium, and they can start to get introduced to that. And then also the joy of like, you know, these are books that become musicals. You know, storytelling works in lots of different ways. You know, the program always has these discussion questions, which I like as a parent, because everything is educational. Right, gets kids. And then well, are y'all doing the meet and greets afterwards, or is that, I don't know about COVID. Sorry, I was supposed to ask Anthony that.
No, that's okay. We're not yet. We're not back to that yet. You know, we are constantly reevaluating our protocols as new advisories come out from the CDC and from the city and from the county. So we're sort of monitoring all of that. I hope soon we might see that. I don't know if we'll see it during Charlotte's Web, but you know, down the road, I'm very hopeful.
Yeah. Sorry, Anthony, I couldn't ambush you with that, but actually that's a good segue to this kind of nuts and bolts question. Oh, which I want to mention that on our website, sachartermoms.com, we have a blog post all about Charlotte's Web, and it's got, you know, links. So if you go to sachartermoms.com and click on the link for the blog post about Charlotte's Web, it's got links to the website for Magik Theater and all their stuff, including their a link to their COVID protocols. So but Anthony, I was wondering if you could comment on like nuts and bolts stuff, like how do families get tickets? You know, like just yeah, like details.
Sure.
Anthony,
One-stop shop, magiktheater.org. Magic with a K, of course. Magiktheater.org. There it is, right there. Ooh.
Yes, and it's theater RE,
right,
not theater ER.
Theater,
right?
That's right, theater RE, the British spelling. So yes, so you can find everything there, including our COVID-19 protocols are on the website too. You can go there. We are having a special right now called BYOB, which is Bring Your Own Bubble. So if you want to come with a family that you've been close with, it's a party of 8 or more, you get a 10% discount.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay. And then so opening weekend is this coming weekend, May 22nd, 23rd, right?
It's this Saturday. Yeah, we open on Saturday.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's exciting.
All of a sudden, we're back.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to go back to Brady Bunch mode here. Okay, so let's see. Okay, so right, so Charlotte's Web is on the main stage at Magik Theatre, but there's also sort of special performances during the run of the show, right? So it starts May 22nd. It runs through July. Is that right?
Runs through July 3rd. Yes.
Okay. Got
weekends
it. Okay,
only. So Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
Okay. Got it. And then, so I was wondering if you okay, so this is an Anthony question, like main screen Anthony again. Can you talk about the special performances? Is there certain nights that have special features or extra guests or things like that?
Yeah, well, on opening day on May 22nd, we are having a sort of a state fair outside of the theater. So lots of fair style games, and you can win prizes, and all sorts of stuff, and food and snacks and things like that happening, starting at noon, before the 2 o'clock show that day. So you can come down early and have some fun in the park before the show. Then also on May 22nd in the evening, we have Educator Appreciation Night. So if you are an educator, work for a school, in any capacity, you can get a free ticket, and you can also get discounted tickets for your family if you're bringing them as well. And there's actually also 1.5 hours of CPE credit for coming, so you can get a little professional development out of the way too. And you can get more information on that by emailing info@magiktheatre.org, and they can hook you up with that. We'll have a night to recognize our military and first responders, and appreciating them. We'll have comedian Cleto Rodriguez is coming, who's done a lot of work with magic in the past, and he's out, so he'll be doing a little stand-up set before the show. He'll be opening for Charlotte's Web that day. That's on May 23rd at the 2 o'clock show. And finally, we will be doing an ASL, American Sign Language interpreted performance, on May 29th at the 7 o'clock show. And those are the special nights. Yeah. But every night is special, Inga, when you're doing the show.
That's right. But those are great because it improves accessibility. It supports like the education mission of the Magik Theatre, and recognizing military and first responders, because especially first responders have had a big load to carry during the pandemic. So Kleto's been busy, right? He has a new special on Amazon Prime, right? I think Laura mentioned that too.
Oh, Inga, could you repeat that? You broke up a little bit.
Oh, sorry. Okay, so Kleto he's been busy. He has a comedy special on Amazon Prime, I think.
That's right. He does. Yes. It's called "Devil Get the Heck Out of Here" on Amazon Prime.
That's very Kleto. Funny but clean. Right?
I guess exactly right. Funny but clean. Yes.
Cool. Okay. Well, I want to ask. I mean, obviously, Charlotte's Web is the big deal, but at Magik Theatre, you guys you always have multiple things going on. So, okay. So I'm going to put Darcel on the main screen, and I'm going to ask him about the Addams Family.
Yes, the Addams Family. This is a team performance that we have. It's a camp. And the camp begins, I believe, July 5th. And it is sold out, unfortunately. But fortunately, you get to watch a wonderful work that these students are going to put together. The Addams Family, if you're not familiar with it, is about a very lovable, wacky, doom and gloom type of family who may seem a bit irregular, but has a very regular situation, which is the fact that their daughter likes a boy. And the way in which this irregular family tries to be regular and normal when it relates to, I believe the character's name is Lucas, that's the boy Wednesday likes, and his family, and seeing how that comes together is such a hilarious thing. Very, very ridiculous, but amazing. And I think that the kids, we have structured a very strong schedule, even curriculum in the midst of it. And just being able to not just get kids in the audience, but to be able to bring the kids back into learning theatrical spaces is something that we are very excited about. And I think too, when other kids and students come out to see this performance, it's one thing to come to Charlotte's Web and see adults performing on stage, but to come and actually be like, now wait a minute, they're not that much older than me. They look to be the age of my brother. It is able, it allows for them to be able to see themselves up on the stage. And so that's something that we're super excited about. And we have a lot of fun twists and turns that we've added to it. So it won't be your traditional Addams Family. And Rosa here is our music director for the show. So we're all still up in the mix trying to make things work for the theater community.
Yeah, I think it's great to have kids. Well, I mean, some kids want to be on stage. They want to maybe be actors or actresses someday. But I think even kids who don't necessarily want to make have a career in arts, but they want public speaking or like just be able to think on their feet. I think there's a lot of benefit to kids be able to participate in programs like Camp Showbiz and the kind of skills that they learn from it. And I think after a year of maybe not having as much human connection as kids really need to thrive, then having a joint activity where they have a goal and they have a project and they're trying to work on something together, that's great for social skills and team building and things like that.
Correct, and that's it, and that's what we've always stressed that, because again, every single kid that comes into a theater classroom is not going off to be on Broadway or even wants to do that or even really wants to work in the theater. But the principles that theater teaches you is something that's applicable to whatever field that you go into. Everyday life, understanding how to interpret body language. These are social skills that are not often focused on in school. And so that is an advantage as it relates to coming to theater classes and theater camps in general, because, I wish someone would have told me how to get up and speak in my job interview, or how to address a group of people, or how to fully understand and read people's body language, especially because we've been wearing masks, or we don't even know. We don't even. It's interesting now looking at everyone's mouths, because we haven't seen them for like the past year and a half. And so just getting the kids reacclimated to just that whole experience is just something that's very necessary and very needed.
Yeah. So Darcel, you mentioned that Rosa is involved in the music for Addams Family. So I want to send the sort of the mic over to Rosa. So ask her about the music aspect of Addams Family, and then also I want to ask her about her role as Snow White. So.
Oh, okay. So the music in Addams Family, I mean, not only is it a great show, it's really funny, like everything Darcel was saying, but the music is genuinely really good. And I'm not just biased because I'm the music director. I have loved the music from the show even before I took on the job of music directing it. So the music is great, and it really adds to the story. It's super fun. It just really makes it like a production, and there are going to be lots of opportunities for not just soloists, but like everybody that's in the production. Something that was unique in this particular setup is that we held auditions for the production. So these kids are so talented. I literally cried after the auditions because I was just like so happy to be doing this again and happy to be allowing them to do it again, and to just, it's so fun to see that potential in kids. And some of them I'm like, can you give me voice lessons? Like you're so great. Like these kids are great, and so people are really gonna really enjoy it. So it's not just going to be interesting to watch because we're proud of the kids. Like the music is actually really fun, and I like singing it too.
Yeah. Well, I think I want to encourage families that, so even though Addams Family, it's already cast and that's already full, and Camp Showbiz is full for the courses that are on that y'all already set up. But, I encourage families to keep checking the website, checking social media, get on the email list, and, and just keep an eye out. Cause like as Anthony mentioned, like you guys are following the guidance, and, you can keep adding stuff. It kind of depends on what the demand is and, what situation our community is in. But it feels like more opportunities are opening up. So don't be discouraged that everything's full right now, because there's going to be, you guys are always up to something. They're always announcing new classes and things like that.
Well, and we really kind of wanted to tiptoe back into this too. Going back for the in-person classes, throughout the year we had tried to do things here and there with not a whole lot of success. And so when we got to summer, we went, well, let's just try a little bit. So the response tells us that, I think going forward, as we get into the fall, the spring, and again next summer, we'll be building up those programs again. So.
Yeah. Well, speaking of like summer and cool stuff happening. So I know so on the website, it's under main stage shows, but Rosa, you're going to be traveling a bit. So there's like different libraries across Texas, like in the Dallas area, Houston area, like where you'll be reprising your role as Snow White. So can you tell us about that?
Yes, so Snow White is going on tour, which is very exciting that we get to take that story to other parts of Texas and beyond. Who knows? Call us, libraries. We'll see who wants to have us. I will say, I personally will not be in the production. It's not because I didn't want to, it's just a scheduling thing. So, but you'll love the new cast. They're going to be great. I still will be involved in helping to set up the production, which is great, but it's a very fun show. And we're excited to take it on the road and share it with others. It's not really your typical like fairy tale version of a story. So if people are expecting a very specific kind of Snow White that they've maybe seen in movies before, it's not that. And so that's part of why I like it so much too. This is a particular adaptation by, oh no, I'm forgetting his name for a moment. Greg Banks. Greg Banks wrote this production, and it's a 2-person production, which makes it easy to go on the road. And the 2 people in the show play all of the characters. So I was Snow White in the version that you can stream, by the way, if you don't have a library to bring it to. So just saying, and you can see me in that one. What was I saying? Oh yeah, so I play Snow White, but I also play other characters. And the other person whose character's name is Four also plays all of the characters, including Snow White, including the stepmother, including all of the dwarves, the huntsman, the prince. That's probably my favorite part. I won't spoil it, but it's very fun to play the prince. But like I said, it's not the typical story. So it's not just like, oh, and she falls in love and all is well. It's like, she's a little more like, I'm in charge of my own life and I don't need you. So they like to sort of poke fun at some of the fairy tale tropes, which is enjoyable and hopefully funny.
Yeah, it's I remember taking my kids, even when they were itty bitty, to Land Library here in San Antonio, and there's a beautiful pavilion, and there's something really fun about like sitting out on the grass and like seeing it, and then also too like the silliness of like 2 people like ducking behind this cart and like changing costumes like on the fly and then coming out and then
oh, absolutely. It's really truly the magic of theater, like right in front of you. And like you're saying, kids especially watching it happen, you're like, whoa, wait, like there's not even a stage. You don't know, there's not like a stage and there's stuff hiding back there. It's just that there's just one cloth and they're just, where did they go? It's where's Snow White? All I see is the prince. No, just kidding. But yeah, it's pretty fun.
It's fun to see the wheels turning in the kids' minds. It's like, oh,
yeah.
Wait a minute. Oh, I see what they did there. Yeah.
My daughter, she's actually 8 years old, and she helped me to work on memorizing my lines. And so it was really fun to see her try to add some characterization. So she would run lines and she would start to, talk like the prince, and she would, lower her voice a little bit. And so she would correct me on my lines too when she'd come to rehearsal a few times. She's like, actually, so it was really fun to see her just get involved with it too. It's just how quickly and easily that spark went right to her and was like, I can do this. I can, one of my favorite things about acting really quickly is like that empathy. Like that's something I think it really teaches you, is to put yourself in somebody else's shoes. And so I really was happy to see how quickly my daughter latched onto that as well.
Yeah, I think empathy is something that we can all focus on now as a way to try to understand the different circumstances that people have been living in during the pandemic, like the different trade-offs that people made or the sacrifices that people made. And promoting empathy that's a great goal. And it goes back to what Darcel said about like, the arts played such an important role in as a teaching tool, that they're really essential. Okay, well, thank you for sharing with us about your experiences as Snow White, and I encourage families to if you have friends in other cities, have them figure out when the Magik traveling group will be there. And like Rosa said, they're still adding dates. So if somebody has like a group or a venue, reach out to Magik Theatre and maybe they can work something out to bring Snow White to your venue. Okay, so the next question I have is for Anthony, and I want to ask about Magik Theatre kind of out in the community, and then also the some of the virtual events like Rosa mentioned. So her version of Snow White is still on the website, but so Haven for Hope is a partnership that Magik Theatre has.
And it's a long time partnership. Magic's been working with Haven for Hope through contributions from the Najm Foundation. We have always been supporters of Haven for Hope, and so going forward, all of our tour shows will perform there for the families that are there, and we also throughout the year, at various times throughout the year, depending on the clients that are there at Haven for Hope, we will bring acting classes into Haven, so that and these are sort of like drop in and out kind of things, like we do on our winter break classes or spring break classes that are like one day at a time kinds of things. So we're always kind of standing by to support them and their families.
Yeah, and one like something that Darcel mentioned, which is that these might not be the skills that are focused on in a traditional curriculum, but that having those 21st century skills like reading body language and how to express yourself, those are really important for success. And so I think it's great that Magik Theatre could bring those to families at Haven for Hope who may not have the stability or may not have the opportunities for things like that.
Right.
So
yes, and you said it. You said the keyword 21st century skills, and that's really the big takeaway from our drama programs, for sure.
Yeah. So okay, so some families may not be ready to do in-person stuff yet. It's like everybody needs to figure it out at their own pace, and so y'all are continuing to offer virtual stuff. So the version of Snow White that had Rosa in it, that one's on the web. But y'all have a new virtual production that's coming up. So that's the one about the Blue Bonnet.
So we have Yanawana's Legend of the Blue Bonnet, which was a production, was co-production actually between the Indigenous Cultures Institute in San Marcos and Teatro Vivo in Austin. And this is the video of their production that they did a while ago about a girl who's learning about her ancestral connection to the Blue Bonnet. And so it's a very Texas specific piece. About the indigenous people of these lands here, which is exciting to see. And we also have a lot of other plays available right now too. We have Dragons Love Tacos only for a couple more weeks, and then it has to come down. We've continued to extend that one. What else is up there right now? I'm looking at my list. Jack and the Beanstalk is still there. You were talking about the seeing that production live with the cart, and that is one of those productions. So you get to see that on video, which I think is still just as fun, except now we have a camera, we can move around a little bit. So we can make you look at where we want to look. Senora Tortuga is still available online. And then one for the very young, which is called Everything is Round, which incidentally, we also did Senora Tortuga and Everything is Round this past year at the Botanical Gardens as well. Both outdoors and indoors in their beautiful pavilion they have there at the garden, which is one of my favorite places for us to perform because it's like being outdoors but with a roof, and it's a gorgeous room. It's a gorgeous room. So those are all again on our website, magictheatre.org, if you want to check those out.
Yeah, wow. So I think the takeaway from this is that there's a lot going on at the Magik Theatre, and that you guys are like Anthony said, sort of gradually reopening, tiptoeing into this, seeing what the response is from the community. But sales are strong for opening weekend at Charlotte's Web, right? But there's still tickets available for Saturday.
There's still some tickets, yeah, but you better go quick because they are selling. But there's other chances too. So, but if you want to come this weekend and enjoy the fair a little bit and get out, this is the weekend to do it.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm going to put the website link back up on the screen so folks can go to Magik Theatre, Magik with a K, theater, the British spelling, re.org. And then I just want to offer each of you a chance to offer closing thoughts. So how about we go like Rosa and then Darcel, and then we'll close out with Anthony. Does that sound good?
Yeah. Okay. I hope that y'all can join us, even if not this opening weekend. We do have that exciting pre-show event, but it's going to be an exciting time. Like we've been saying this whole time, it's just going to be, it's nice to be able to get out and do something and to feel safe about it. And not only to just do something, but like something educational, something fun, something entertaining that the kids and the adults just aren't going to forget.
Yes, and I think so as well. With Charlotte, especially, the story within itself is something that everyone, if you are here on this planet, you can relate to it. And I think it's such a great opportunity to just engage again. And I'm just excited to see how that all plays out and to hear all the laughter and the joy and the crying and all of it in such a way that ends well as well. I can't wait for that.
Yeah, and I'm just looking forward to this whole next year. You know, it's a year ago at this time we were sort of scratching our heads wondering what was going to happen, if there would be a theater to plan another season for. I was still I still feel very new, having just moved here in January of 2020. But now we're getting to stretch out and start to program shows and start to make plans for a year from now. It feels great. So I'm so excited for the community to get reacquainted with Magik Theatre and reacquainted with our work. And we have a lot of exciting new things coming up. And we will be announcing, I'll just say at the end here, we'll be announcing next season very soon.
I'm excited. I'm excited. Well, it's been such a joy to talk to all of y'all. I feel like I've gotten a good update on what's happening at Magik Theatre, and I hope that the families listening to this are excited and understand more about the value of theater and in education and what Magik Theatre is doing to bring these classic books to the stage and help kids learn these 21st century skills, and just how involved you guys are with the community, whether it's like traveling to libraries or visiting Haven for Hope. And yeah, and I encourage families to go to the Magik Theatre website, get yourself some tickets to see Charlotte's Web. Keep an eye out for upcoming like camps and announcements of new productions, and it just feels really good for the world to be reopening.
Yeah. Agreed.
All right. Well, thanks so much, y'all. Thanks for joining me, and I look forward to seeing you guys. Well, I look forward to seeing Rosa on stage and for cheering for all of y'all.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thanks, Inga.
All right. Take care.